And welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I'm Michael DeLon, and today I'm here with Dmitri Kustov. Dmitri, well, first of all, Dmitri, thank you for taking some time to be with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, you are welcome. It's going to be a fun conversation because Dmitri brings an angle to something that business owners struggle with, really, digital marketing. And I love the way that you guys do it and the results that you're getting. So we want to dive into that. As we get there and kind of jump off the diving board, Dmitri, tell me, how in the world did you get to doing what you're doing today?
It was through necessity. So my official training is not in digital marketing. I'm a programmer. Actually, applied mathematics is my degree. Yeah. So I've been trained to code and software and whatever else to apply mathematical models to whatever. And whenever I started applying for jobs, I was applying for coding, and one of the companies in Houston area, they were looking for a developer. I applied. They said, well, we actually don't need a developer. We need an SEO person. Yeah. And they gave me 30 days to figure it out, or I would have been fired. And long story short, in about 6 months, I was running their digital marketing department.
Well, there you go. So needless to say, you got it figured out. And then from there, you and a couple buddies have started Regex SEO. And it's a custom digital marketing strategy for business owners. And that word custom really got me when I was looking around trying to do my research. Let's talk, first of all, before we dive in to understand what that means, what are some of the problems that business owners are out there facing when it comes to, this mass of digital marketing? What are the challenges business owners face that you've seen?
Well, for business owners, it always comes to ROI, getting leads at a proper cost, an efficient cost, and really just growing the business. That's what business owners care about. That's more or less the only thing they should care about. And the problems arise from there. Whenever instead of talking about ROI, instead of looking at a number of leads and business growth metrics, digital marketing agencies or even business owners themselves, they start getting caught up on metrics that actually don't matter. Maybe kind of sounds crazy, but sometimes they get hung up on rankings in the sense that, oh, we need these 5 keywords or 10 keywords or 100 keywords to be ranking number 1.
Yeah.
But it might be good. However, what if those keywords don't have any search volume? What if those keywords are not going to bring any good potential leads and customers? What if they're not converting into actual paying customers? So from that perspective, what we do is not just custom digital marketing campaigns. Instead, what we do is data-driven business growth solutions. And yes, a lot of our stuff is digital marketing, but that's not the only stuff we do. Like a very simple example would be, no matter how great your rankings are, no matter how many visits to the website you get, if your website looks like garbage and does not convert, if you get 1 million users to your website and none of them convert, or it doesn't load on a mobile phone or whatever else, and looks all broken and nobody calls you, what's the point? So that would be a problem that we need to solve before talking about rankings and anything else, or PPC or whatever else. Or for example, we had a customer that a client came to us and they couldn't figure out why their digital marketing wasn't working. And then after digging and setting up proper tracking for calls, we learned that their call center was not picking up 85% of their incoming calls. So it's like, yeah, dude, let's fix that first.
That's great.
Before we talk about anything else. So yeah, it's data-driven. I'm a huge data nerd. And it's data-driven business growth solutions.
I like it. Data-driven business growth. And those two stories are really, really good. And I hope people are listening because we tend as business owners to point the finger really fast at either what we think is the problem or what we think is the answer without doing the research. You probably haven't found that out at all, have you?
Oh yeah, that's story of my life.
Oh, it's insane that we don't go back and call the call center. As a business owner, you should be practicing being a prospect of your own company to see, are people answering the phone? Is your website, when you click, dude, go to a website when they have like an opt-in and fill it in and click it. Does it do anything? I've had clients, I said, I opted in 3 days ago. I haven't gotten anything. They're like, well, neither have I.
Right.
Maybe we should look at that.
Yeah.
So I love that you're looking at business growth, and to get there, you're not coming at it with what I would call off-the-shelf solutions. So let's talk about that a bit, because I think that's kind of one of the challenges in that industry, right?
Yep. That's the exact reason why I started the company. I was working for an SEO agency. We were doing packages, basically. Somebody would come in, would tell, well, we have these 3 packages, choose. But at the end of the day, an approach, the solutions will be different from a business to business. And yeah, there's a lot of common factors, sure. But the way you would build a proper campaign, the way you would build a proper growth strategy for dentist will not be the same as a lawyer, and it will not be the same as some kind of like a manufacturing company. So that's pretty much the reason I decided to start my own company, and the rest is history.
That's right. And all right, so let's talk about the difference then of working with you versus a traditional firm where they've got package A, B, and C. Somebody comes to you, just kind of lay out a process, regardless of the industry. What's going to happen when they engage with you?
Research first. So our first and foremost company value, as a core value, is data over feelings. So, and a lot of business owners don't like that. It's like, I think this, like, no, what we think, what you think doesn't matter. What matters is what data tells us. Let's do this. Let's talk about why. And do you have data to prove it, or do I have data to disprove it? Ideas are great, thoughts are awesome, and maybe we should A/B test it at the very least. So everything starts with research. We try to figure out where the problem is, and then based on our findings, what data tells us, we build a growth plan, basically. And for some companies, it will be SEO. For some businesses, it won't be. Like, let's say if you are, I don't know, manufacturer of some kind of cogs or little parts for oil and gas industry. Nobody in that industry just goes and Googles, whatever part. It's all handshake, very old school stuff. So SEO is not going to be the case. So you need to find another solution. And again, we look at more than just rankings and ads and whatever else. We look at the conversion rate from lead to qualified lead, from qualified lead to sale. Maybe your sales people are not great. Maybe a call center has issues. Maybe the website's not converting, whatever it is. So we look at the data first, and based on that, we come up with a solution that we are fairly confident will take you to the next level.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So there's a lot of, dare I say, pushback, because in a good way, because as business owners, we are idea generating factories, and right. And oh, by the way, Dmitri, I was just on a webinar and they gave me this great idea, and we should go ahead and do that, right? Like, okay, shut up.
Well, no, we can try it.
Yeah.
But we have to record the data and then make a decision based on data, not because you just told me so.
Right.
Again, ideas are great. A/B testing is awesome. So it's about taking data over feelings when you have data, and just even in general, you need to collect that data in the first place. Most people most clients that come to us, they don't have any or barely any data tracking. In a lot of companies we work with are home services companies, and one of the main leads sources is calls. And we ask them, do you know how many calls you're getting from, let's say, ads versus SEO versus social media versus whatever else? And they say, no, we just use one phone number. That's like a company main phone line. And we have no idea where all of the calls are coming from. And then the next question is, well, if you don't know where the calls are coming from, how can you be sure that whatever $5,000 you just paid for a billboard actually brings you any results? Or $10,000 a month you pay to your SEO agency, does that result in anything? And so on and so on and so on. So yeah, everything starts with data and it ends with data. It's there's a little kind of a loop circle, we call it what's it called? Oh boy, it's like a life cycle with data in the middle. I forgot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. So research first, implementation, research last, because you've got to do the research, figure out what we're going to do, what we should do. Then we're going to do it. And then we're going to get the data on what we just did to say, how is it working? Because at the end of the day, the market's going to tell you, the data is going to tell you and go, oh, well, maybe I should do that.
Yeah. There's a strategy, implementation, optimization, and then goes back to strategy. But everything that, if you imagine that as a circle, in the middle of that is the data at every point. When you do strategy, you base it on data. When you do implementation, you collect data. When you do optimization, you base it on data. And again, it starts all over again.
Yeah. And it's really good that God has made people like you, because all of that, that just makes my brain fry. And I'm like, there's no way. I know I need to do it, but I don't want to be the guy doing it, right? And that's why you exist, because it is, I mean, anybody who's been around marketing, the Dan Kennedy world, it doesn't matter. It is all based on data research. And if I send a direct mail piece out, how many come back? What's my percentage? How do I change it? If I do a website, if I do a Facebook ad, it doesn't matter what it is. There's got to be some tracking. If I have a call center, if I have a billboard, I just had the HVAC guy, heating air conditioning guy, leave my house, right? What's on the side of his van? Right. Probably a generic phone number.
Yep.
Well, what about putting a different phone number on all of your vans so that because that's a moving billboard. Yep. So, wow, people are seeing my vans. That's an idea that Dmitri could help you say, well, you know what? That's good. It goes to the call center. Guess what? It's not getting answered. Let's fix that. There are so many, what I call holes in the bucket of marketing, that if you just start filling the holes and fixing and patching those holes, your revenue goes up, because you stop leaving money on the table and you don't have to spend more money on marketing. What you need is a set of outside eyes looking at your business. And it sounds like, Dmitri, that's what you guys do first, is come in from an outside perspective. Is that fair?
Yeah, very much so. And efficiency is definitely key. In a lot of cases, the marketing budgets stay about the same when we start working with people. It's just a way to extract more out of that budget. That's what I personally do. My purpose is to extract the most out of marketing budgets as a marketing director. Basically, that's my purpose.
Yeah, and that's good, because most business owners aren't great at marketing, because they're great at what they do. Going back to your manufacturing thing, right? Those guys are good at making widgets or whatever it is. They're not the best at marketing. They need somebody like you. And most business owners are there. We start businesses because we're good at what we do. We don't understand this whole marketing thing, whether it's online, offline, call centers. We need a marketing director, in a sense, is kind of what you, but we get more than Dmitri, right? We get a team of people who can help. And if you say, hey, you really need to revamp your website, do you have people who do that, or do you farm that out? How do you guys work?
Yeah, we provide every service. Everything is in-house. Anything that needs to be in order to take a business from level A to level B, and from website design to development to ads, social media, email marketing, SEO, everything. And even in terms of optimization and implementation of call center and all of that stuff. And as you mentioned, one of the things that I notice all the time, especially in smaller businesses, smaller companies where it's, I don't know, 10 to 50 people, the business owner is trying to be everything instead of being what they are good at.
Yeah.
So what I always say is, in order to achieve efficiency, you need to have people who are great at what they do. But the key is you need to make those people do what they're great at. If you hire a great salesperson and then send them out to the field to do the work, what's the point of having a great salesperson?
Right.
So for business owners, the same thing. Do what you're great at, and then find a data nerd to do data for you. There
Amen. Amen. And we've got one of the world's greatest data nerds on Expert Speak today, self-proclaimed data nerd, Dmitri Kustov. Dmitri, man, this is fascinating because you're taking a different approach to marketing, because you are, I love how you said it, you function almost like an in-house marketing director.
It is. Yes, exactly.
You partner with the business owner, bring insights, bring data. That's really, really key. Numbers to go, let's track this stuff. Let's figure out, because once you have your 7 key numbers on your dashboard, or however many numbers those are every week as a business owner, and you're watching those, guess what? You start seeing trends. You start seeing what's working, what's not, what adjustments do we need to make? And you don't have to chase shiny objects anymore, because Dimitri's back there doing his thing saying, here's what we're seeing. Here's what the data is saying. And data doesn't lie.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many opportunities that pop up here and there that are not just about necessarily marketing metrics, but even that affect operations and production and everything else. Like a quick example, recently we started working with a company, and after we ran the data, we looked at the internal conversion rates, we looked at their potential in terms of search volume and how many visits to the website they can get, how many requests they can get, all that stuff. And at the end of the day, we were able to fairly accurately predict, or at least project, how many leads, and therefore with their internal closing rate, sales closing rate, how many jobs they can run within 2023. And I looked at that, and then they have certain amount of techs, and each tech can handle certain number of jobs. And they found out that 60%, they were 60% overstaffed. So it's like, wow, you know what? You're wasting 60% of your salary budget, basically.
Yeah.
And those people are awesome, and people are great, and they are people. It sucks to have those conversations, but data says that in the best case scenario, we can get you here within these budgets.
Yeah.
And either you'll have to 2.5x the budget, which in that case they didn't have, or you have to make some hard decisions not to lose money. And then, after we had that conversation with them, and the reason they came to us were their margins, net margins, were very, very slim. That's 2% or something like that last year. And we don't understand why. And after we ran it, it's well, here's a reason.
Yeah.
You're basically overstaffed, and one tech can handle, let's say, 10 jobs, and now really they're handling 2. So what's the point? Right. So they had to restructure their company a little bit. And even after a couple of months of working with them, their margins already are closer to 20%.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's why it's data-driven business growth solutions. So exactly. Don't think that you're going to engage with Dmitri and he's just going to pull a binder off the shelf and say, well, here's what we're going to do, because it don't work that way. He's actually serving more as a consultant, as a C-suite executive in your business to help you see what you need to see, backed by data, so that you can make the right decisions to increase margins, increase profits, and have a better, more fully functioning business that's based on data. And that's awesome. Dmitri, I'm sure I could have about 30 more questions, because this is fascinating and intriguing to me.
I'm here for you.
I know.
I can talk straight for 2 weeks about this.
Oh, I bet you can. How do people, somebody in my audience is out there going, I need to talk to Dmitri. How do they, where do they find you? What's the next step for them?
Yeah, the company name is Regex SEO. Regex is regular expressions, a mathematical term. So regexseo.com is our website. But to start the conversation, you can always reach out to me on Twitter or LinkedIn. My the handle, the username is at Digital Spaceman. Our company started in Houston, NASA, and it all fits. The space exploration is about reaching new horizons, reaching new heights, and kind of going above and beyond. So the whole space theme definitely fit the company, the brand. If you go to our website, you will notice that. So yeah, at Digital Spaceman on Twitter or LinkedIn, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. That sounds great. I'm looking forward to sharing all this. I'll have all of that captured in the show notes. So if you're out driving in the car, on a sales call, talking with the client, whatever, don't worry about it. Go to the show notes. You'll have the links so you can reach out to Dmitri and talk about data-driven business growth solutions. Having somebody look at your business with a fresh set of eyes and somebody who can understand how to grow your business in a data-driven way. I love that. Dmitri, thank you for being here and being my guest on Expert Speak.
Well, thanks so much for having me, and I will be honored to come back.
Awesome. Sounds great, brother. Take care. Thank you for what you're doing for small business owners.
Thank you.